Savage Dragon number 38 from May of 1997. And I think if I was the dragon here in this situation, getting choked out by the reanimated corpse of Cyberface, I would slam his gigantic metal shoulder pads together. I think that would finally end this storyline. Though I do love his design and this cover, very striking. So there's a lot of shit to get to here, which is a good way to get to Josh Eckhorn, who is credited here as having 14 pounds of undigested beef jerky in his lower intestine. And also credited here is Chris Eliopoulos. I rarely mention his name only because I can barely mention his name. But here's the deal. Chris Eliopoulos is one of the greatest letterers of all time. Very unique style, very prolific, and old school, meaning that he physically letters the artwork. So Erik Larsen has to mail his penciled artwork to get lettered by Chris before Chris mails it back so Erik can ink the pages. And this artwork is flying across country twice because think about it. Larsen lives on the West Coast, Eliopoulos on the East Coast. Every page taking multiple trips to get completed every month before these deadlines. Seems like something would go wrong. And that's what happened this issue. 12 pages got lost in the mail. And they had to be redrawn and relettered. So this issue was delayed slightly. What a nightmare for these guys. It's bound to happen. But, you never know it looking at the artwork. It's pretty good. So, all right, Dragon is captured by the Vicious Circle. They got him crucified here on this thing that's kind of reminiscent of X-Men 251 with Wolverine. I think they spoofed that in the Deadpool movie recently. But there's a lot of story taking place, but Dragon isn't doing or saying anything. That's kind of the story of this issue. The plot happens at the Dragon. He has very little to do this issue, except break out of his cross here, and then use that to pummel some dudes with it. And then other than that, he does throw a punch, a very critical punch that will explode Cyberface. So he just gives him a punch that explodes the guy and finally ends him. So you'd think that this would be the end of it, but his head is still intact. And it ends up being put into a gorilla body. It's a thing. This book is about to get really fucking awesome, but not that this hasn't been great, but the run that we're about to get into is arguably the most well-regarded period of Savage Dragon. And it begins with Dragon being suspended from the police force. Captain Mendoza suspends the Dragon from the force, and we find out that Mendoza is under the control of Horde, the infamous leech man who possesses people. So a short 22 pages with 12 pages of bonus material, including the letters. There were other subplots that I didn't mention, nothing too notable. William and Rita are still together. Dragon and Rapture are not. And Dragon has no dialogue this entire time. All from this page on, Dragon says nothing. Like I said, the plot kind of happens at him, not really anything that he's doing. But so this issue also features little biographies of every single member of the Chicago police force, from well-known Lieutenant Frank Darling and Alex Wilde to the mid-Carters like Phil Dirt and William Johnson. And then you get the jobbers like Richard Head, Mike Roch, and Eileen Ulick. Quality character stuff happening every issue of Savage Dragon here. And then there's 5 pages of letters, no fan art, mostly just positive reaction to issue 36, some early mixed reaction to the Mars Attacks stuff. And then at the opening here, Larsen announces the birth of his second child, another boy, to join his older brother, Christopher. It's May 12th, 1997, which would make this kid 27 today, to give you an idea of the time rapidly passing us by every second of our lives. All right, so next up, we're going to get into some shit. Issue 39.